So you're shopping for a home and need a mortgage? Well, here are the 5 things you need to know about choosing a lender. Number 1, interest rates. That might seem like a no-brainer to you. However, let's move on to number 2 and you may realize it's not that obvious. Number 2, what are the fees? Essentially what that really means is, what do you pay for to get the rate? And I want to challenge you to think a little bit differently. When you talk to a couple of lenders, and by the way, I highly encourage you to interview a few lenders, keep in mind they all have access to the same rates, but essentially it comes down to, what do you pay to get that rate? So for example, when the first lender gives you a quote of 3.5% and the second lender tells you they can do it at 3.25% but have different closing costs, ask the first lender to match the rate and see what it will cost you to buy that rate down. That way you're comparing two lenders with the same interest rate but different closing costs. So the interest rate and the fees that you pay are probably more obvious. Number 3 is the performance of the lender, and this can mean a couple of different things. For example, what's the underwriting process? Is this a well-oiled process in which the underwriter sits in a different state? Well, that can make the communication between you, the loan officer, and the underwriter a little more complicated and time-consuming. Or is the underwriter just sitting down the hall from the loan officer, where the loan officer can just quickly put you on hold, run down the hall, and get the answer he needs for you? These 2 things are really important to consider, and they also may very well reflect in the fees that you pay. Another part of the performance is the amount of time that your lender will need to process your loan. This is really important, especially nowadays in the seller's market that we have, as the time that you're going to need to get your financing can make or break your deal. Number 4, reputation. You want to make sure that that lender has a good reputation in the community, because when you're putting in that offer, especially if it's a multiple offer situation and that listing agent is not confident that your lender can close a transaction, close it in a timely manner, and have good communication, you may not get that offer. That brings me to my 5th point, communication. I cannot emphasize enough how important communication between yourself, your lender, and the agent is. And buying a house is frustrating enough, but I can guarantee you, without that good communication, it can be 3 times more frustrating. So I hope these 5 things helped you a little bit when deciding on a lender. And please do remember, there is more to it than just the interest rates and the fees that you're paying. Thank you so much for watching my video, and please do subscribe to my channel.